Suzie and Flicker and the Search for the Babbling Breeze. In a nice little village nestled between rolling hills and singing streams, there lived a girl named Suzie. With hair as brown as chocolate and eyes as bright as the sky, she was the light of her home. Only 6 years old, she carried a laughter that could warm the coldest day. Her village was a tapestry of straw-topped homes, gardens blooming with rainbow flowers, and stone paths that curved like ribbons tying the community together. Yet, for all the beauty around her, Suzie found herself caught up in a challenge. Sometimes, when it was time to talk, her words would hide, like shy bunnies in a field, not wanting to come out. At home, with her family, her voice danced freely, but at school or with people she didn't know well, she stayed quiet. Flicker, a small dragon with scales that shone like sunrise, was her best friend. With kind eyes and a tail that played nice tunes, Flicker was always by Susie's side. "You're not alone," Flicker would say. "There are lots of children, just like you, who hold on to their words until they're ready to share them." "If only I could talk whenever I want to, like everyone else," Suzie would think, feeling a bit sad. Flicker shared stories of other children who found their voices over time, giving Suzie a bit of hope. There were times, like when she wanted to join in the fun at the school lunch table, that the quietness of her words felt heavy. They're all laughing and sharing stories, and I'm here, silent as a rabbit. She'd sigh to herself, her smile fading. Deep inside, Suzie felt a little whisper of an idea, a hint that the answer to her voice was out there, just out of reach. "One day, I'll find it, and I'll talk like the wind talks to the leaves," she hoped, excited by the thought. The Seashells Song. One sunny afternoon, as Suzie and Flicker played by the stream, they found a delicate seashell, sitting on the bank as if it had been waiting just for them. The shell was smooth and felt cool, and when Suzie listened to it, she heard the sound of ancient tunes and a voice that talked about a journey to find the Babbling Breeze and the Voice Petal. "The wind has a secret, a petal that lets the silent speak," the shell whispered. "But watch out, because if it isn't found, the world will fall quiet and lose its songs." Susie's eyes grew wide with amazement. Flicker looked into the shell and said, "The breeze's tune is a riddle, a path to follow, and a treasure to find." This adventure is for me, Suzie felt sure, her inside voice strong. It could help me speak, just like the wind that talks to the leaves. Together, Suzie and Flicker set off on their journey. They crossed fields where the grass waved softly, through woods where the trees stood proud like ancient stories. The world around them seemed to sing, a song of adventure that calmed their worries and made them brave. "Are you ready for this, Suzie?" Flicker asked, his voice gentle but firm. "Yes, I think so," Suzie answered, the words coming out like a whispery tune. "Encounters of the heart." As they traveled, Susie's mind fluttered with thoughts. Will I find the voice petal? Can I really break this quiet spell? She felt a bit nervous, but with Flicker there, she decided to go on with the journey, her spirit flying high like a kite. At last, they got to a place where clouds came together to swap old stories. The valley was a hidden spot, full of mystery. But which way now? Then, the seashell in Susie's pocket started to shine, its light guiding them towards a path lined with chatty flowers. With each step, Suzie felt the hope of her voice growing stronger, her words almost ready to show like the petals leading their way. The glade of whispers. As the light from the seashell dimmed, Suzie and Flicker came to the edge of a big, sunlit clearing. The air smelled of wildflowers, and the grass felt soft under their feet, like a cozy green blanket laid out just for them. Up high, the sky was painted with gentle blues and pinks by the setting sun. "Look at the clearing, Suzie," Flicker said quietly. "It's like we've stepped into a picture, full of life and colors and smells." Susie nodded, marveled. She touched a buttercup, its petals soft and silky. Each flower is singing its own tune, she thought. Then they heard a cheerful tune on the wind. As they turned, they saw a group of butterflies, each flapping its wings in perfect time. The butterflies fluttered around a wise old tortoise named Shelby, who wore a daisy crown and moved to their music. "Hello, young travelers," Shelby said with a smile. "I see you're on an important adventure." Susie nodded, her heart racing. She wanted to talk, to tell Shelby about their quest, but the words stayed buried, like hidden treasure. Flicker told Shelby why they were there, and Shelby's eyes sparkled with knowing. "To find your voice is a big adventure indeed. Let me tell you a story," he started, and sung about a little bird that was too scared to sing. The bird saw others sing and wanted to join in, but fear kept its song silent. Shelby sung. But one day, it found its music inside, ready to be shared. Susie listened, her heart full of the song. Maybe my voice is like that bird's tune, just waiting to come out, she wondered. As the song finished, the butterflies lifted Shelby up and flew him away, leaving Suzie and Flicker in the clearing, their hearts full of Shelby's story. Echoes of the crystal caves. Next, they reached the crystal caves, where the walls glittered with points of light. The air was cool, echoing with drip-drop sounds like tiny piano notes. Inside, they met Echo, a tiny bat with fur as soft as twilight. Echo's kind, shining eyes greeted them in the dim light. "The caves are a place to think," Echo explained. "Here, your voice comes back to you, so you see the magic of your own words." Susie whispered a hello, and to her wonder, the cave echoed it back, her voice growing with each bounce. "My words can fill this place," she realized, a smile sneaking onto her face. Echo taught them how to make echoes with different sounds and loudness. Susie tried it, her confidence growing with each returning echo. When they left the caves, the seashell in Susie's pocket glowed deep purple, like the evening sky. It seemed to hold some of the cave's magic, remembering the echoes and Susie's growing voice, the singing sands and the babbling breeze. They then went to the singing sands, a desert that buzzed with its own music. The dunes moved up and down like waves, each sand grain a part of a huge sea of golden tunes. There, they met a friendly camel named Sandy, wearing a turban with tinkling bells. Sandy gave them a ride, sharing stories of others who had crossed the desert before. "Some looked for riches, some for secrets," Sandy said, "but the best thing to find is the song inside you." Susie felt the pace of Sandy's steps, the tinkling bells, and the desert's buzz. They were all different, but made lovely music together. "My voice can be part of that tune too," she thought, her heart feeling light. As the desert disappeared behind them, the seashell glowed with golden light, capturing the desert's music. The heart of the Babbling Breeze. At last, they got to the Babbling Breeze's heart, where the air was filled with soft chatter. Here, the voice petal was said to bloom, a flower as rare as one made by the wind. The breeze wound around them, whispering brave tales. Susie listened, moved by the stories. Then they saw Grumbleton, the cloud giant. His voice was loud like thunder, and his eyes flashed like lightning. "Why do you want the voice petal, little one?" He boomed as big as a storm. Susie was scared, but she remembered Shelby's song, Echo's Cave, and the desert's melody. She took a deep breath and, for the first time, spoke loud and clear. "I want the voice petal to share my words with the world," she said, her eyes full of boldness. Grumbleton's stormy face lit up in surprise. Then he laughed, a sound like clouds parting for the sunshine. "Brave child, the voice petal was never a flower out there. It grows inside you, whenever you dare to speak your heart." With those words, Grumbleton turned into mist, leaving a gentle breeze that stroked Susie's face. The seashell became delicate again, and Susie knew her adventure had changed her. She found her voice, not in a petal, but in being brave enough to talk. As they got ready to go, a rainbow bridge stretched across the sky, leading to the next adventure. With hearts happy with songs and stories, Suzie and Flicker stepped onto the rainbow, excited for what was next, Susie's newfound voice. As Suzie and Flicker headed back to their village, the world sparkled with fresh wonder. They walked happily, and the rainbow bridge they'd crossed faded into the gentle colors of the sky, the air giggling with the clouds' laughter. "I've got a funny story for you," Flicker said playfully. "Why did the dragon bring a ladder to school?" Suzie looked at him, intrigued. "Because he wanted to go up to high school," chuckled Flicker, and Suzie laughed, her voice clear and beautiful like a bright bell. Nearing the village, it seemed wrapped in a warm glow. The straw-topped homes looked charming, and the gardens were a patchwork of brighter colors than before. The stone paths looped through the village's heart, like threads binding everything together. "I'm home, and I can share what I think," Suzie realized, her happiness bubbling up from deep inside. Susie's bright hair shone in the sunlight as she stepped into the village center, her eyes sparkling with the joy of coming back. She felt different, changed. The quiet that used to lock away her words was gone, and her newfound voice felt ready to soar. Sometimes a whisper of the old quiet would come back, doubting, but Suzie now knew better. She remembered her voice's echo in the crystal caves, the courage when speaking to Grumbleton, and she would just smile, her concerns dissolving like morning dew. The next day, Suzie found herself in the schoolyard, in the middle of her classmates' noise. There was a tiny pause, a moment where her old silence called out. But Suzie took a deep breath and remembered the happy words. "My voice matters." "Can I come and play?" she asked, bright and clear. Her friends turned, surprised but happy. "Of course, Suzie. We've been wanting you to ask," they said. And just like that, Suzie joined in, her laughter mixing with the others, as natural as birds flying. Life in the village turned into a tune of new beginnings. Suzie shared stories with her friends, sang with her family, and spoke her mind in class. And Flicker, her loyal friend, was always there, his scales glittering with pride. In the following years, Susie's voice grew stronger, and so did her adventures. She would climb the highest hill and chat to the winds, her words traveling far. One sunny day, Suzie saw a young boy sitting alone, head down. She sat next to him and recognized the signs of unsaid words. She told him her story, her voice friendly and encouraging. "Your voice is just as important as anyone else's," she told him with kind words. "What you want to say matters, and you can share it whenever you're ready." The boy looked up, hope lighting his eyes. Suzie smiled, knowing she'd passed on the bravery that had once been given to her. Susie's dreams were as brilliant as the stars. She pictured herself speaking to crowds, telling stories that could change the world. And in her quiet thoughts, she saw herself helping others find their voices, just like she found hers. "One day, I'll help many, and my words will be like a bridge to the stars," she thought, her heart filled with dreams ready to be shared.